Hey there YouTube lovers, my name is BB8 and today I am going to rank every Super Mario 64 world from worst to best. With the recent announcement of both Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 coming to Nintendo Switch 1 and 2, I got the idea to give both Galaxy games their own Galaxy ranking videos. But first, instead of doing just Galaxies 1 and 2, I thought I would go ahead and do all the 3D Mario games, starting off with Super Mario 64 and working our way up to Odyssey, which will not count 3D Land or 3D World. We're going through every 3D Mario game, ranking every single world in each, and at the end of the series, I'm going to do one ranking of my favourite worlds and another ranking for my least favourite worlds. So, without further ado, let's get into it, shall we? So, what is the worst world in Super Mario 64? Well, it was quite tricky to determine because unlike other things I've ranked, like Mario RPGs, Mario Party, and Mario Kart, where they all have a commonly agreed upon bottom slot compared to my rankings, the Super Mario 64 rankings I've seen online vary in results. Like, I saw someone rank my top spot second to last, and my response was, that's a bit silly. But in order to secure the bottom slot, this world needs to feel like it has the least life in it, the least fun stars to collect, the least enjoyable to explore, and of course, misplaced music. But who could that bottom slot go to exactly? When I checked as many Super Mario 64 world rankings I could online for reference, I saw that Screen Rant ranked Lethal Lava Land last, Half Glass Gaming ranked Dire Docks last, and I've looked at a wide variety of tier lists made from Tier Maker that all had Total Mountain, Hazy Maze Cave, and Rainbow Ride last. But my personal last place is none of these. So which world truly deserves the bottom slot? Well, after going through all of them, I have uncovered one world that has stars that don't feel fun to collect at all. And let's just say this is the world I had the least fun to explore in the whole game. Say hello to my least favourite Mario 64 world, the one, the only, Wet Dry World. Wet Dry World is at the bottom of this list, but it's not devoid of a reason to play it. Because I'm gonna say for now, the bottom slot on this list is a C tier, meaning there's no D or F tier Mario 64 worlds. But Wet Dry World being my least favourite, we'll get to the things I did like about Wet Dry World and then the things I didn't like about it. The main gimmick of raising and lowering water throughout the level, even when you enter its peaking, is actually pretty creative and does make certain stars throughout Wet Dry World dynamic. But unfortunately, the stage itself feels lifeless, and some stars, such as the red coin mission, just aren't really that fun to play around for. The layout can be a bit confusing at times, especially if you try and get to certain areas without understanding the mechanic of Wet Dry World. The music in it does have an eerie tone, which does add a bit of atmosphere into the mix, but it doesn't really save Wet Dry World from falling short compared to every other world on this list. And with that said, Top of the Town's a solid star, and the gimmick is interesting enough that I can't completely disregard Wet Dry World. It's just that if you compared wet dry world to every other world in Super Mario 64's roster, wet dry world just lands the bottom for me. Number 14, Snowman's Land. Snowman's Land does feel like one of the most unnecessary worlds in the whole game. Given that we already have a snow-themed level in Cool Mountain, it still had some fun ideas to play around with, such as the massive snowman centerpiece that is enjoyable to look at and climb around, and some stars such as the whirl from the freezing pond into the igloo and in the deep freeze are fun, as well as the DS exclusive Yoshi's ice sculpture does add a nice touch to Snowman's Land as well. But with that being said, I do feel like some of the stars in Snowman's Land are frustrating, such as Snowman's big head and Chill with the Bully, as well as a red coin star I do think is one of the weakest in the game. The exploration is enjoyable, even if it does get repetitive, and the music does work fine with Snowman's Land, even if it is reused from Cool Mountain, which Snowman's Land is still charming in some areas, but doesn't add enough to make it unique or to justify ranking it higher on the list. Number 13, Jolly Roger Bay. Jolly Roger Bay does have a decent theme going for it, but when you're comparing Jolly Roger Bay to Dire Docks, there is a lack of diversity within the level. I do enjoy some of the stars throughout Jolly Roger Bay, such as treasure in the ocean cave, red coins on the ship afloat, and blast to the stone pillar. The majority of the stars within Jolly Roger Bay are frustrating, such as plunder in the sunken ship, can the eel come out to play, and through the jet stream do make the level a bit frustrating and punishing as well. Exploring the stage does feel lifeless due to the lack of NPCs within Jolly Roger Bay, and I do consider the music to be misplaced as well. A pirate-themed level does deserve to be a bit more adventurous than Jolly Roger Bay ended up providing to us, and I can say for now, Banjo-Kazooie literally provided better pirate worlds than Jolly Roger Bay provided to us. And that concludes the C tiers. There's only 3 of them, because only 3 worlds in Super Mario 64 really fall short for me. They're still okay, but still fall into the bottom tier. But now, we're actually getting into some stuff that's solid, with the B tiers starting off with number 12, Tall Mountain. Tall Mountain does look great visually, and the mountain climbing design of Tall Mountain is appealing, but a majority of the stars within Tall Mountain are quite frustrating to complete. My personal favourites of Tall Mountain include Mysterious Mountainside, Scary Shrooms Red Coins, and the Mystery of the Monkey Cage, which mainly benefits from Yoshi in Super Mario 64 DS. Stars such as Scale the Mountain and every other star I didn't list beforehand, I did find to be quite frustrating, only because of the amount of punishing hazards that are laid throughout Tall Mountain itself. Tall Mountain is one of the most punishing in the whole game, which does make it difficult for me to put towards the top of the list, despite my enjoyment of this level's aesthetic. The music is the 4th time the main theme has been reused in Super Mario 64, which I get they couldn't help because it's an old game and they couldn't compose unique tracks for a Super Mario 64 game. But Tall Mountain, while it does look good visually and fun in concept, its execution is what keeps it from ranking higher than it should. Number 11, Rainbow Ride. Rainbow Ride is quite iconic thanks to its flying carpet gimmick, which no other world in the game ends up using, but Rainbow Ride is held back thanks to its narrow platforming, which does feel claustrophobic and punishing if you fall off. Stars such as the big house in the narrow sky, coins amassed in a maze, and somewhere over the rainbow, as well as DS's switch star of the manor, are quite enjoyable, while tricky triangles is one of the most frustrating stars in the game, by the way, and falling off is constant, and falling off in Rainbow Ride is constantly frustrating, which does make some of the stars within Rainbow Ride feel like a chore to obtain. The music is upbeat, but a country-like theme is mismatched for a sky stage. A classic orchestra would have been more fitting for this level, but I do consider Rainbow Ride to be memorable and challenging. The overall design of Rainbow Ride feels a bit punishing compared to every other world in the game, and it is held back from being a top tier level for that reason. Number 10, Dire Dire Docks. Dire Dire Docks does share the water theme with Jolly Roger Bay, but adapted it quite better, thanks to the more varied sea life and the more lively environment that's provided to us, with stars such as Board Bowser's Sub, the Manta Ray's Reward, and the DS exclusive Koopa's Surfing Switch Star, which are enjoyable to play through. Though chests in the current and pole jumping for red coins are extremely frustrating, especially since trying to open chests underwater feels really unfun to do, and getting through the water in Dire Dire Docks can be frustrating thanks to the whirlpool at the bottom. The music provided to us for Dire Dire Docks is soothing and does perfectly fit Dire Dire Docks as a world, making it a preferable choice than Jolly Roger Bay in that choice. And while some of Dire Dire Docks' design choices do hold the overall world back for me, Dire Dire Docks still offers rewarding exploration and progression, and an atmosphere that feels relaxing, which it barely missed out on the bottom corner because I still have a few things I enjoy about it. Number 9, Cool Cool Mountain. Cool Cool Mountain is a snow-themed world, which I do find to be a bit more charming than Snowman's Land. And plus, the penguins within Cool Cool Mountain add more personality to Cool Cool Mountain as a world, with stars such as Big Penguin Race, Frosty Slide for 8 red coins, and Little Penguin Lost all stand out to me. Though Slip and Slide Away, Snowman's Lost His Head, and Wall Kicks Will Work do feel a little frustrating or obscure in the case of Slip and Slide Away because Big Penguin Race overshadows it. Cool Cool Mountain does have rewarding exploration. I do enjoy the playful vibe of Cool Cool Mountain, and the music that's used within the world itself is just right here. While it isn't perfect, the charm of Cool Cool Mountain with its clever gimmicks do keep it higher from the bottom spot, but just barely missing out on the top half of the list. Just barely missing out on the top and bottom halves of the list. The bang-on halfway point of the list is number 8, Shifting Sandland. Shifting Sandland does play around with the desert theme very well, and the hazards such as the quicksand and klepto do add a bit of challenge to Shifting Sandland without feeling unfair. My favourite stars within Shifting Sandland had to be stand tall on 4 pillars, which I'm gonna tell you now, this is probably the funniest thing I've ever said, but I always got stand tall on the 4 pillars incorrect as a kid. Because the way I solved it as a kid is I literally climbed inside the pyramid and jumped onto the centerpiece and climbed my way inside to the boss. Like, I always did it incorrect as a kid. But now that I've done it correctly as an adult, it kind of feels funny to look back at that moment. And exploring the pyramid with shining atop while in the talons of the big bird and free flying for 8 red coins were less enjoyable to play around with. And the pyramid does give Shifting Sandland a great layout. Unlike Lethal Lava Land, which does have one issue related to its music, the music fits Shifting Sandland very well, enhancing the overall desert vibe of the world. And despite one minor flaw with the quicksand, Shifting Sandland is a world I feel like is memorable, but with its cons, it's just about halfway on the list. And that is where I end the B tiers. And now we're gonna move on to the A tiers, starting off with number 7, Whomp's Fortress. Whomp's Fortress is a fun world to climb, with loads of solid parkour challenges to go around and a well-designed boss fight at the top. The stars that stood out to me the most included Shoot into the Wild Blue, Blast Away the Wall, and Fall onto the Cage Island were satisfying to play through, even though I do find the red coin mission to be recycled from Bob-Omb Battlefield. The controls of the Nintendo 64 do make some climbing within the level frustrating to do, but the world I still find fun to explore. The music fits very well here and in Bob-Omb Battlefield, helping the stage feel more unique. And Whomp's Fortress does earn its place on the list as a mid to upper tier world, because the design of the level is clever, but there are other levels that do hold up even stronger than Whomp's Fortress. Number 6, Big Boo's Haunt. Big Boo's Haunt does deliver one of the most creative ghost house experiences within the entire Mario series, with a variety of rooms and creative mechanics to work with, such as entering through a boo and unique puzzles such as the secret of the haunted books, Big Boo's balcony, and Eye to Eye in the secret room did stand out to me. And the red coin star of Big Boo's Haunt is the most clever in the whole game. Exploring Big Boo's Haunt is really fun, but climbing from the basement repeatedly can get a bit repetitive. The music works very well with Big Boo's Haunt, and overall it does rank highly on the list thanks to its creativity, atmosphere, and the only thing holding it back from number 1 is falling through the basement and climbing up again, and the stars I might consider to be weak. Number 5, Lethal Lava Land. Lethal Lava Land is challenging and packed with hazards, which do make navigating Lethal Lava Land exciting. Stars such as Hot Foot into the Volcano and the Red Coin Star, which is probably one of my favourites in the game, are particularly fun to play through, even though Bully the Bullies does get a bit repetitive after a bit of time. The lava hazards can be punishing, they do add an overall dangerous atmosphere and make the exploration of Lethal Lava Land feel rewarding. The music does feel slightly mismatched, but the gameplay is more than enough to make up for it. Lethal Lava Land ranks higher on the list because of its strong design and challenging mechanics. Number 4, Tick-Tock Clock. This one stands out to me thanks to its dynamic time mechanic, where the elements of the world change depending on how you enter Tick-Tock Clock. Stars like Get a Hand, Stomp on the Whomp, and timed jumps on the moving bars are highlights within Tick-Tock Clock, while the red coin star is frustrating to get through unless the time is frozen. I do find it satisfying to explore Tick-Tock Clock as a world, and the stage does feel unique compared to others, because how you enter the world does have an effect on how the world itself behaves. Although the music could be a bit more unique compared to Peach's Slide and Rainbow Ride, the creative gimmick and enjoyable stars place Tick-Tock Clock on the high end of the ranking. Alright, with the A tiers finished, we are just down to 3 more worlds, with the S tiers consisting of number 3, Bob-Omb Battlefield. Bob-Omb Battlefield is the perfect starter world since it is simple and charming at the same time. Stars such as Big Bob-Omb on the summit, Foot Race with the Koopa Quick, and Behind Chain Chomp's Gate are all fun to obtain with no frustration at all, which does make it a great introduction world. The Chain Chomp does add personality into the world, and scattering Bob-Ombs everywhere make the stage feel alive. The main theme is perfectly implemented into Bob-Omb Battlefield, and in my opinion, it should have remained exclusive to this world and Whomp's Fortress. Bob-Omb Battlefield is a consistently fun and accessible world to play through, earning it a spot near the top of the list, but would have got the top if it wasn't for 2 others above it. Speaking of, number 2, Hazy Maze Cave. Wait, hold on. How did one world I ended up seeing a tier list of ranked last place end up second place in my Mario 64 world ranking? Well, Hazy Maze Cave has to be one of my favourite underground worlds in all of Mario in general, with a big mix of mazes, Indiana Jones style rolling rocks, and a metal cap section, as well as Dory's Cavern. There's a lot of variety and exploration to be done in Hazy Maze Cave, and that's why I love Hazy Maze Cave as a world so much, because there's a lot to do and a lot to see, with the standout stars being Swimming Beast in the Cavern, Elevate for the 8 red coins, which, by the way, is my number 1 favourite 8 red coin star in the whole game, and Navigate the Toxic Maze, make Hazy Maze Cave the one world in the entirety of Super Mario 64 without a bad star in it. Yes, I did find Hazy Maze Cave quite confusing as a kid, but it does become more rewarding as you play through it. And with the variety of challenges that were put into place with Hazy Maze Cave, do rank it just below number 1, which is a creative masterpiece in terms of world design. But you would have thought, with my description of Hazy Maze Cave, that it would have been number 1 on the whole list. But no, it's not. There is one other world that earns the top spot. One masterclass designed world. My favorite in the entirety of Super Mario 64 goes to number 1, Tiny Huge Island. This was one of the easiest top spots because I thought to myself when doing research for this ranking that someone ranking this world second to last is a bit ridiculous. Because why? Because Tiny Huge Island has earned its top spot on the list thanks to its size shifting gimmick, which is ahead of its time, and by far one of my personal favourite mechanics in the whole game, because you can enter Tiny Huge Island any way you want. You can enter it with Tiny Huge Island small, or you can enter it large, with stars like Rematch with Cooper the Quick and Make Wiggle a Squirm all stand out. And the DS exclusive Klepto Star does make it more fun as well. The concept of Tiny Huge Island is clever, the exploration is satisfying, and the stage's main theme is iconic, even if pretty much 3 other worlds reused it. But that's okay, because everything about Tiny Huge Island clicks. The creative gameplay, the memorable stars, and the fun exploration make it the top spot of my Super Mario 64 world ranking. It's a standout that perfectly embraces the charm, embraces a gimmick that's ahead of its time, and brings the most fun world into the game. So guys, what did you think of my Super Mario 64 world ranking? This was quite a difficult ranking video to make, mainly because there was no bad worlds in Super Mario 64. The worst world in it was okay. I do see Sunshine having a D tier world though, but when it comes to every other 3D Mario game, I'm hoping to get the Galaxy rankings for Galaxies 1 and 2 out by Christmas. And with me revisiting Odyssey in 2026, my ranking of all the Odyssey kingdoms will likely come after I've done a revisit of Super Mario Odyssey with BB8's House Reviews, and then I will go ahead and rank all of the kingdoms in Odyssey. But in terms of Sunshine though, I'm waiting for it to come to Nintendo Switch Online before doing it. So, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like this video, and turn your notification bell on so you don't miss another video like this one in the future. And I will see you all in a future video. BB8 out.